In 1955, they built a city from scratch in the middle of the Canadian Shield. And by 1958, the uranium mines were producing $200 million in a single year. Then Ontario Hydro canceled its contracts. 19,000 people left, and Elliot Lake did something almost no city has ever done. It reinvented itself on purpose. And right now, it's doing it again. Welcome to Postcards and Porchlights. My name is Dania. This is a channel where you can find small towns and do the research so that you can find the right one that fits for you. Today we are in the beautiful Elliot Lake in Ontario. We are actually on a cross-country tour right now, and Elliot Lake is our starting point. So stick around and let's go check out Elliot Lake. Elliot Lake sits in Algoma District, Northern Ontario, 2 hours east of Sault Ste. Marie and 2 hours west of Sudbury. Highway 108 is your road in, connecting to the Trans-Canada at both ends. Population, just over 11,000 year-round. Here's what to know right away, because it matters more than people expect. Elliot Lake has a full-service hospital. St. Joseph's General is the only hospital providing obstetrical care, intensive care, and surgical services in a 3.5-hour corridor between Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury. If healthcare access factors into how you choose where you live, and for a lot of people it does, that's not a small thing. The average age here is 53 years old. Nearly 40% of residents are over 65. But that's not an accident. It's the result of a deliberate strategy the city built over 30 years ago. But here's what's changing. Elliot Lake is actively working to broaden that. Younger residents, working families, entrepreneurs, remote workers, people who come to build something here, not just to rest. That's the story happening right now. To understand Elliot Lake, you have to go back to 1953. When geologist Frank Jubin confirmed uranium in this rock. Within 2 years, the federal government was helping build a planned city from nothing. 25,000 people, a mining operation running around the clock, $200 million in production by 1958, Canada's uranium capital. A straight line from this shield to the nuclear age. Then, in 1990, Ontario Hydro canceled its contracts. The mine stopped and 19,000 people left. A city built for 25,000 dropped towards 6,000. Every indicator said ghost town. It didn't. A group of people who were left created a nonprofit, the Elliot Lake Retirement Living Inc., and it made a specific offer to Southern Ontario. Affordable housing, a full-service hospital, 2 blue flag beaches, the Canadian Shield as your backyard. Come and retire here. And people came. And within a decade, 4,000 retirees had relocated. And today, Elliot Lake is the second oldest median age city in Canada. And on April 28th every year, Canada's National Day of Mourning, this community still gathers at the Miners' Memorial to honor the people who worked the uranium and didn't come home the same way they went in. They didn't die in accidents. They died slowly from the work. And Elliot Lake remembers that. That's the history. Here's what's interesting. This city isn't finished. Elliot Lake has been a retirement community. That chapter isn't over, but the city is writing the next one alongside it. The goal right now is population stability, more working-age residents, young families, entrepreneurs, remote workers, people who come here to start something. So let's talk about what work actually looks like here. The hospital doesn't just serve this community, it employs it. St. Joseph's General regularly recruits for specialized roles. Medical laboratory technologists, registered nurses, imaging technicians, facility administration. Those aren't token positions. Healthcare in a regional hub with an aging population is a growth sector, and Elliot Lake's catchment area means the demand is real and consistent. Social services run the same way. Demographics here create a steady demand for case managers, mental health counselors, and personal support workers. Agencies like the Algoma District Services Administration Board and March of Dimes are present in the community. The school system, kindergarten through grade 12, 2 boards, that draws teachers and educational support staff. The mine history also created something unexpected, Elliot Lake is a recognized center for environmental monitoring and mine reclamation. The decommissioned sites need ongoing expertise: heavy equipment operators, safety supervisors, environmental technicians. It's specialized trades work that exists specifically because of the city's history, and it isn't going away. The municipal operation itself is a significant employer: public works, water treatment, transit, facility operations, and because Elliot Lake functions as the main service hub for smaller communities along the North Shore, the retail and commercial sector has a real need. National retailers and local financial institutions need managers and advisors, not just floor staff. For people who want to start something rather than work for something, the infrastructure is here. ELNOS, the Elliot Lake and North Shore Corporation for Business Development, provides commercial loans, business planning support, and financing specifically for people moving to the region to open a business. We noticed gaps while we were here. Service category the community actively wants that aren't filled yet. That's not criticism, that's just an open door. Here's the thing that stayed with us. We met people in Elliot Lake who'd worked in the mines before they closed. People who left this community when the work ended and built their life somewhere else for 30 years. Now they're looking at coming back. Not because the mines are reopening, but because of what this place has become. Because the city they loved is still here, and what it offers now is something they want to be a part of. When the people who left are choosing to return, you're looking at a community that has something real. Here's what else we found out about Elliot Lake. It reveals itself in layers. You pass through on the highway and you see a northern service town. You stay a day and you find the beaches. You stay another day and you find the trails, the museum, the lookout. Then you start to meet the people, and that's when you understand what this place actually is. We met a woman here who retired from Toronto. Affordability was the honest reason she came. The math on housing in the city had stopped making sense. What she didn't expect was the rest of it. The beaches she can walk in the morning and the community that already knew her name before she finished unpacking. There's the butcher shop. It's been here in the city longer than most of its current residents. The current owner, Mark, will pass this to a third generation of his family. His family was here through the boom. They were here when the 19,000 people left, and the question of whether this city would survive was open.
One of the things at a small town, I think you get to know generations of people, right? So we have served like over 30 years people's grandparents, which is kind of cool, and then get to serve also their grandchildren, right? So that's one of the neat things in a small town, I think, is getting to know families in an area that you might not have an opportunity to do otherwise, right?
The butcher shop stayed. That's not a small town detail. That's the whole story in one shop. Head out to Dunlop Lake and you're going to find Dunlop Lodge. Open to the public 12 months of the year. People come for the lake, and if you ask anyone who actually lives here, they might just be coming here for the burger too. It's why I came, and I loved it. It's the kind of place that only appears once someone local points you there. Cork Mine site tours in the summer run with BHP, and unlike anything else in Ontario, the Canada Day weekend, the Uranium Heritage Days, runs a parade with live music and guided mine site tours. We've covered a lot of communities, and we haven't seen that anywhere else. If you're coming here with kids, here's the picture. We happen to have met a woman who grew up in Elliot Lake. She spent the better part of her life here, and when it came time to raise her own children, she didn't leave. She chose to stay. And that's a different kind of endorsement than any amenities list. It's someone who knows exactly what this community is, looks at the alternatives, and decides this was the right place to raise a family. The Lakers, Elliot Lake's minor hockey program, run a full youth schedule from learn to skate through competitive levels. And the place they'll be playing just had one of the most significant community investments in the city's recent history. The renovation came in at $26.6 million. The ice plant went back on in 2026, and the ice is coming home. A city that spends $26.6 million bringing back its arena is a city that's betting on itself. That's not a small signal. Elliot Lake runs kindergarten through grade 12. The Algoma District School Board and the Huron-Superior Catholic District School Board both operate here, with about 12% of residents speaking French at home. French language programming is part of the picture here. Reach out to the boards if you want any specific routing or program details. There are parks and splash pads for the summer, a dedicated bike access track for one of the city's parks, built for families, and the city is actively adding amenities for younger residents as part of its population sustainability push. This is a community that sees families as part of its future. Well, what about getting outside? This is where Elliot Lake earns serious attention. The city sits inside Ontario's largest insured ATV trail network, 300 kilometers of OF-ATV trails through the boreal forest along lakes and rivers. Snowmobilers have the same network in winter through the OFSC. These aren't dressed up accessed roads, they're the real thing. Mount to Forest Ski Area is right in the city. 7 runs, 2 lifts, terrain park, 320 feet of vertical, and a licensed chalet lounge. Just 30 minutes north, Mississauga Provincial Park has trails from 0.5 kilometer up to 22 kilometers, plus canoe rentals on lakes most people in Southern Ontario have never heard of. The Trans-Canada Trail runs right through the area and is currently being rejuvenated by a local committee as part of the city's attraction strategy. The lake the city is named after is clean. Healthy water like we've never seen, clear in the shallows, water lilies in the quiet bays in late July. Early morning before the wind picks up, it goes mirror flat. In Sheriff Creek Wildlife Sanctuary, 182 hectares at the city's edge, free, is full of birds, wetlands, and the same water lilies. The kind of place you'd drive an hour for if it existed anywhere else. Crown land surrounds the city in every direction, which means free camping up to 21 days per site, wilderness access that costs you nothing. And 2 Blue Flag certified beaches, walkable from downtown in Northern Ontario. We know. The housing math. An average detached house in Elliot Lake right now is sitting around $330,000. Condos from around $130,000. Entry-level listings have come in under $115,000. In the same market where a Toronto condo starts at $600,000 and a detached house is $1 million conversation. The housing stock is predominantly mid-century bungalows, built fast in the 1950s and 60s for mine workers. Solid, detached, all with yards. Elliot Lake Retirement Living Inc. also owns and manages a significant rental inventory for seniors. So if you're not ready to buy, there's a pathway in. 4 seasons, all of them very real. July is a high of around 22.6 degrees centigrade. The evenings are long, the beaches are swimmable from June through August. Fall color on the Canadian Shield peaks late in September and is genuinely spectacular. Winter, January high of -6.6 with an average low of -13. However, you can experience temperatures dropping into the -20s and sometimes colder. Close to 1 meter of snow across about 87 snow days. It arrives in November and it stays until April. And what the community does with it? Well, they ski, snowmobile, ice fish, and a social fabric that tightens in the cold. The most unexpectedly beautiful moment here, fog lifting off Elliot Lake in late summer, the water mirror flat and the boreal still. You just can't manufacture that. Let's be honest about what Elliot Lake is and isn't. It's 2 hours from the nearest major city in either direction. Significant shopping, specialist medical referrals, airport access. You're planning those trips, not running errands. The restaurant and retail variety is limited. That's the reality of a city this size, this far north, and it's worth knowing before you go there. And if you're comparing it to a larger center on convenience alone, it just won't win. Here's what it does offer: a full-service hospital, the only one in 3.5-hour corridor that you've already heard about, because it matters enough to say twice. 300 kilometers of the best ATV trails in Ontario, a ski hill inside the city with no lift lines, 2 Blue Flag beaches walkable from your door, clean water and water lilies in the bay, crown land in every direction, K-12 schools, a minor hockey program with its arena coming back after a $26.6 million renovation, parks and splash pads, and a city actively adding to what's here. a job market anchored by healthcare, trades, and genuine support network for people who want to start something. And a city that's actively choosing its future. The relocation campaign is live. The economic advisor is at the table. The commercial development support is funded. The arena is reopening. Elliot Lake is not hoping somebody notices. It's deciding what it wants to become and moving towards it. Most cities have something that happened to them. Elliot Lake is one of the few that happened on purpose, twice. And it looks like it's about to happen a third time. The first time someone looked at the shield and built a city. The second time when that city's reason for existing disappeared, the people who were left built a different one. And the third time, a city broadening its own definition of who belongs here. The mines are still, the lake is still here, the butcher shop is still here, and the arena is coming home. And the community they built out of what was left is still here and still building. The people who find Elliot Lake and plant themselves here tend to have stopped looking for the place that checks every box. Some retired here and haven't looked back. Some are raising kids here because someone they know grew up here and stayed. Some are working healthcare shifts at the only hospital in a 200-kilometer radius. Some left 30 years ago when the mines closed and are quietly making their way back. Some are just arriving, looking at the numbers, the land, the infrastructure, and the open doors, and deciding to be first. That's not nothing. For the right person, it's everything.
Well, if Elliot Lake is on your radar, or if Northern Ontario is on your list and you're trying to figure out where to look, the link to connect with us is in the description, along with research about Elliot Lake. We're happy to have the real conversation about the fit. So stay tuned. We have a lot more communities coming your way. In the meantime, check out this video right here.